Brought to you by runtogold.com, the premier source for monetary science applied to geopolitical, international, and economic, financial news and events. Hello, welcome back to the Run to Gold podcast. This is episode 17. I have a guest here, Anthem Blanchard, the son of James Blanchard, who was very instrumental in restoring the legal right to own gold for U.S. citizens. And he's here to discuss the Dow-Gold ratio.
Hi Trace, thanks for having me on your show. I appreciate it. I just wanted to go through here and explain to your audience a little bit about one of my favorite investment tools, and it helps me actually relate or compare one asset class to another in essentially base 100 or ratio metrics. Namely, in this case, taking a look at the Dow to gold ratio. So, in other words, how many ounces of gold does it take to buy one share of the Dow, and to compare that trend over time. So, in other words, right now, the Dow is roughly somewhere around, let's say, 8,000, and gold is roughly around $900 an ounce. So, it takes just under 10 ounces of gold to buy one share of the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So, if you actually trend this out over time, and take a look, I actually like starting in around 1913, which was when the Fed was created. That actually enables me to look and see, okay, when were investments as a class overvalued relative to savings, and when were the markets in an investment cycle, and when were they in a savings cycle? So if you take a look back, we've actually been in a savings cycle here for about closing in on 9 years. It's been about 8 years. So in 99, the Dow Gold ratio peaked out at right around 44 to 1. It took about 44 ounces of gold to buy one share of the Dow. And take a look all the way back, going back to 1980, and the ratio bottomed out at 1-to-1 for a day, where it actually took 1 ounce of gold, $850 per ounce intraday, and to buy one share of the Dow, which was at 850 points. Then again, you look back again, the last peak prior was 67, and there you see that it took roughly about 24 ounces roughly of gold to buy one share of the Dow. And you go all the way back then to a period, 1934 to 42. It took between 1.5 and 2.5 ounces of gold to buy one share of the Dow. It oscillated a bit. And then you look all the way back up in 1929, and the ratio was around 17 to 1. So and then it settled back down again, roughly to about 2.5 to 1. Looking around 1913 or so. So it enables you to do something very, very simple. It enables you to take three variables, the Dow, gold, and dollars, and actually eliminate one of those three variables, the dollars, by canceling out the numerator and the denominator. So mathematically, statistically speaking, it takes all of the uncertainty from that one variable, the dollar, all of the variables that go into it, more creation by the central bank, by the Fed, or the de facto central bank, and all of the macro effects that get pulled onto currencies. So it's kind of like having a decoder ring, and it makes one's life much, much simpler. So I highly recommend, whether it's any group of asset classes, to your audience, that always to compare things to other things, because price is deceptive. Price and value are two completely separate items.
Well, thank you, Anthem. That's very, very insightful. We've often talked on this podcast about how gold's role is in performing mental calculations of value in the pricing mechanism, and I think you're spot on. If you're able to put a dollar sign in the numerator and a dollar sign in the denominator, then you're able to cancel that out, and then the effects of that illusion dissipate into nothing very quickly and very efficiently. Anyways, thank you for coming down to have lunch with me today, and I hope you
Pleasure as always.
And I hope you have a safe drive back. And I'm sure my readers are very grateful for the insight you've given us about the secret decoder ring. And thank you. This has been the end of episode 18 of the RunToGold.com podcast. You've been listening to the RunToGold.com podcast, the premier source for applied monetary science on the web.